Universal News TV.
All right, so are you ready to jump back into the octagon with me? Because today we are diving deep into some MMA action.
Let's do it.
We're talking about Francis Ngannou's triumphant return, and I gotta say, this is a story that had me glued to the screen. I am pumped to break this down with you, especially since it was requested by you guys.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah, so for those who need a quick recap, Ngannou, the former UFC heavyweight champ, right? He's back in MMA after, dipping his toes into the world of boxing.
Yeah.
And we all remember those bouts against Fury and Joshua.
Oh, yeah.
Tough fights. But man, he showed incredible heart. Now he's making waves in the PFL in his debut fight.
I know, right?
Let's just say it was a statement.
It was a statement for sure.
Yeah.
He completely dominated facing Renan Ferreira at PFL's Battle of the Giants. And come on, talk about setting the stage. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so, Ferreira was no pushover, right?
No, not at all.
This wasn't some, easy opponent just waltz in and, make a statement against. The guy was on a 4-fight win streak, even held the 2023 PFL Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, yeah.
This was a clash of titans, man.
100%. This wasn't a walk in the park for Ngannou by any stretch of the imagination. And I think the most fascinating thing about this fight is how he secured the victory. Right? Because when you think of Ngannou, you think of his ferocious striking power, which, by the way, he honed even further during his time in boxing.
Oh, absolutely.
But in this fight, he surprised everyone by going for an early takedown.
Oh, I was on the edge of my seat when that happened. Like, what is going on here? Why the takedown? Was it a calculated risk to, kind of throw Ferreira off his game? Because Ferreira himself has a really strong ground game with submissions in his arsenal.
Right, and that's the million-dollar question right there. I think it really speaks volumes about Ngannou's evolving fight IQ. You see, Ferreira is known for his dangerous guard, particularly his triangle chokes, which he's used to submit opponents in the past. So Ngannou taking him down early was a tactical masterclass, in my opinion, in nullifying that threat.
It makes you wonder, like, was that always the plan?
Right.
Or did he see an opening and decide to seize the moment? Because you don't want to play into Ferreira's strengths, and I think that's what's so brilliant about it. Instead of trying to outstrike him on the feet, he took the fight to the ground on his own terms. And I have to admit, for a moment, when Ferreira attempted that triangle choke from the guard, I thought this could be it. I thought maybe Ferreira might pull off the submission.
Yeah, for a second, it looked precarious, for sure. But this is where Ngannou's experience and just raw strength were on full display. He stayed composed, worked his way out of the hold, and then transitioned to a dominant position.
And that's when the real fireworks began. We all know about Ngannou's devastating ground and pound, and he unleashed it on Ferreira. But can we talk about the specifics for a minute? Because I was blown away by the sheer precision and power of those strikes.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't just brute force. He showcased incredible technique. He postured up, beautifully landing those heavy hammer fists and elbows. And, Ferreira, to his credit, is incredibly durable, but there was no escaping that kind of relentless pressure from Ngannou.
Yeah, you could just tell that Ferreira had no answer for it. He kept the pressure on, completely controlled the ground game, and finished the fight at 3 minutes and 32 seconds of the first round with a TKO. Talk about a dominant performance. But, even beyond the impressive display of skill, there was another layer to this victory that made it incredibly powerful.
Yeah, you could just tell this wasn't just a fight for Ngannou. It was deeply personal.
Yeah.
He dedicated this fight to his 15-month-old son, Kobe, who tragically passed away earlier this year. Yeah, and you can feel the weight of that dedication in every move he made. It was palpable,
It really was.
This wasn't just about proving himself in the ring. It was about fighting for something much bigger than himself. And I think he channeled his grief, his love for Kobe, into every punch, every takedown.
It was incredible to witness.
It really was.
It adds such a different, aspect to this victory.
For sure.
This wasn't just a comeback. This was like a testament to, the strength and the resilience of the human spirit.
100%. And it makes you think about the kind of fire that Ngannou has burning within him now. Like this experience, this loss, it's undoubtedly fueled his determination.
Oh, yeah.
Which leads us, I think, to the big question. What's next for Francis Ngannou?
Right, where does he go from here? Because this wasn't just any win, right? This was a statement.
100%.
He's back in MMA, and he is here to dominate. But where does he go from here?
Well, let's start with the PFL. They have got to be ecstatic about having Ngannou on their roster.
Yeah.
His presence instantly elevates their heavyweight division and brings this whole other level of excitement to the organization.
Without a doubt. And there are some intriguing matchups within the PFL.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A fight against, mention a notable PFL heavyweight, That would be a clash of styles for sure. But I have to admit, part of me wonders if Ngannou has his sights set on something even bigger.
Hmm. You know what? I'm with you there. Because this PFL victory, it felt like a launch pad.
Yeah.
Like a way to remind everyone what he's capable of. And don't forget, he was a UFC champion before he ever stepped foot into the boxing ring.
Right. Okay, so now things are getting really interesting. Are we going to see a return to the UFC? A chance to reclaim the title? Talk about a storyline for the ages.
I know, right? And think about the possibilities.
Oh, man.
Imagine a rematch against, mention a notable UFC heavyweight. Or a clash with, a rising star in the division. And that's just within the UFC.
Right.
We can't forget about other organizations like Bellator.
It's like he's holding all the cards right now. He's proven himself in both boxing and MMA, and he has the freedom to choose his path. He could go for a title in any organization or even explore those cross-promotional fights that have everyone talking.
Right, and that's what makes his journey so captivating, right? He's not afraid to break boundaries and rewrite the rules of combat sports.
He's playing chess and everyone else is playing checkers.
I love that.
And it's like he's not just fighting for titles, he's changing the game itself.
Yeah.
And you know what I think that's inspiring, to see an athlete take control like that?
Absolutely. And I think his journey resonates beyond combat sports. It's about pushing boundaries, defying expectations, and, writing your own narrative. Ngannou is showing us that the most interesting paths are not always linear.
No, they're not. And, from Cameroon to the world stage,
Yeah.
UFC Gold Boxing's brightest lights, and now this explosive return to MMA, it's a story that just keeps evolving, with each fight, each decision.
And that brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? What does Francis Ngannou want his legacy to be? Is it about collecting championship belts across organizations, becoming a legend in both boxing and MMA? Or is there something even greater driving him?
Now, that is something to ponder. We started this deep dive breaking down, a single fight, but we uncovered so much more. It's about ambition,
Right.
resilience, the pursuit of greatness on your own terms.
100%.
Yeah.
And, it's a powerful reminder, I think, that we are always capable of more than we think. And his story is far from over, and I, for one, can't wait to see what he does next.
Me neither. And I bet all of you are feeling that same anticipation after this deep dive. Nganou's journey is a reminder that the most exciting stories are often still being written. So until next time, keep exploring those big questions. And we'll catch you on the flip side for another deep dive.
If you like this content, please like the video and subscribe to our channel, and see you next time.